Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters.
A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He can't understand why you'd do such a thing. He won't make it out of... Good work, clever cogs. Let me guide you into the dark. Seriously? I always thought better of you than that. And you were wrong. There's always more dark than light. There's still time to turn back. They're already heading down my road. There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become regardless of who you choose, it won't be. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction, to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world, and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to... He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He believes you share Jagni's view on the world. Regardless, Jagni would welcome someone that could help them. He'll be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track. Regardless.
Alright, so at this point, we're taking a little look at the available side powers here, so I can, first of all, show off what's coming, and just take a little bit of a look for myself, see what's going on here. The powers are pretty cool. The telekinesis is very helpful for just chucking people away. I haven't tried the Key Spark yet, but I am eager to get to that. That one right there, the Sky Spark, that's the reason that I ended up going dark to begin with, because I really want the nuke move. But for now, though, I think I'm just going to take the Blazing Trail. Gives me a little bit faster movement. It's a decent little movement tech. Hop around a little bit, leave some fireballs. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty useful, pretty handy. That's all I got for right now. I will be back whenever we get to the guns bit, because it's a little bit strained when we get to there. So for now, enjoy.
It's a bridge. Just get over it. Great shot. Ho, ho. You're empty of key. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tri-war began. You're harmed. That's the Jagni tribe's fault. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war, or part of the problem.
Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. They don't just let anyone see the Sifu, but there's something different about you.
Zata is the muito tloho. Kariesne zdace. Paro, yaput.
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side, the wasteland you came from. He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and barren as the wasteland itself. He understands that sometimes we need to lose us. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original. Your Muma invented Wung Fu. Originally, it was based on unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. There says fear and hatred is the only path to domination, but you already know that. So embracing that side of you and helping them vanquish the tribes and letting the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life should be an easy decision. He expected you'd join them. You understand that the universe runs on the principle that the one who dominates others runs the show.
Yaput?
The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can...
Nalest stari dat. Padafu uflete.
The myriad are too good to be true. They might believe in the greater good and a code...
Totloho. Nalest stari dat.
Their kin must put an end to the war before war puts an end to them. It'll cost bruises and...
Zivot is the moi padafu uflete.
They have no intention of letting this drag out, or they'll run the risk of teaching the enemy their art of war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
Zanamach. Onis purenos od.
You both share dark thoughts, so they want to wage a war. A war where all... Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts, and once you've conquered the rival's outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu for control of their territory, tribe weapon, and... The only kin who count are the kin that are left standing at the end of the war. Seeing you brings back his memories. Jackney doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal... He remembers your kind and unselfish soul. Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got no time to be sentimental. He can't blame you for not... You really know how to move. He's glad to see you doing so much damage, but why stop there? Offers you extraordinary prices for extraordinary things. Points out they just restock, so you're worth thinking about.
Okay, so the crafting thing is really interesting. Basically, you have a base for your melee and your range. Your base for your melee can be one-handed slash, two-handed slash, crush, or actually, that might be it. One-handed slash, two-handed slash, crush. That's the only range bases I can think of, or melee bases I can think of right now, actually. And then you can get various handles, various little add-ons that give you small little buffs like that. And then once you get into the guns are actually really, really interesting, because they have, of course, a base piece, again, which can be what they call a gun, which is just a pistol. Gun means pistol in this game, if it's just the word gun. And then they have rifles. They have automatic rifles, which are your machine guns. And they have shotguns. You can take any one of these, and of course there's a few specialized weapons that are unique to only your tribe. We may get into that, but probably not until later on towards the more end of the game. Although you do get the, if you start with the Jagni tribe, you get their stick pretty early on, which is actually a really nice weapon, as long as you focus their thing. But yes, as you can see here, there's a bunch of high-tier parts you can buy that you can then put together to make weapons. Also, if you find a weapon that's pretty good, you can buy a higher-tier blade or something to put on it and make it even that much better. So it's actually a really, really cool and interesting crafting system, and it has a bit of a randomly generated loot aspect to it, which I've never really particularly cared for in these types of games. But I feel like they did it in a way that's done relatively well. Basically, oh, and even some of the bases have like special add-ons, like not add-ons, but modifiers and stuff. Like some of them shoot saw blades, some of them do double damage, some of them reload after a kill. It's really, really neat. This guy, I'm just gonna take a minute to look at some different guns and stuff. I was really confused when I got to this section. I absolutely had no idea what I was looking at, so I ended up spending a long time looking at it, trying to figure out what it was, and looking at things like that one right there, a missile shot. Every fourth every fourth shot also fires an auto-seeking missile. That's incredible. That's super good, especially on something with a high fire rate like that. Honestly, I kind of wish I'd had the money to buy that at the time, because that would have been really good, even now where I'm at in the game. But with that said, I'm going to stop talking now and let you guys enjoy the rest of this segment. Hopefully, me looking at the various guns and stuff is not too terribly boring.
Let's see. Beware, that's a monk up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially. Deformed and unfurled.
Alright, so here we find our first real boss that we have to deal with. I come very close to killing him on the first try. He ends up getting me, so I do have to fight him twice. That is going to be in the clip, but it's fast forwarded, so hopefully it's not too bad. You guys can watch the second fight. It's not going to be into the world. Plus, I'm pretty sure I handled the second fight a lot better anyway, as far as the combat and stuff goes. I had a really hard time figuring this boss out, especially with my garbage here weaponry. It was not very easy. Plus, I was very bad at dodging at the time. I got absolutely obliterated. But that's not too bad. The combat gets better moving forward, and I learn more. Also, I was trying to use the fire, and he seems to be immune to it, or maybe I couldn't figure it out. I was trying very hard to figure out the stats effects, and it just was not working for me. But, so yeah, this is the first boss of the game. All the bosses, with the exception of the World Eaters so far, are just, basically, they're exactly the same. It's a big thing with a few unique moves. Got a big-ass health bar, you beat it up, it dies. The World Eaters, the various puffs, they all have their own unique mechanics on how to defeat them. It's not too terrible. It's actually pretty neat. What's the word I'm looking for? Unique to each one. It does feel different each time you're fighting one, so I do like that they took some of the repetitiveness out with that aspect of the game. But from here on out, of course, we take down the boss, and then we go on to our little home village. It takes us to a childhood memory where we learn how the basics of crafting and fighting and looting, I guess. We already know how to loot, but it teaches you, like, rummaging through piles. Basically, the point of this next tutorial is to show you how to craft weaponry and armor. It explains what that goes on about. There's a little bit of fighting tutorial, and then it gives you the backstory as far as what happened to your village and your parents and you, and why you're out in the wall and why you're a little outcast. All that good stuff. In the fight, I want to point out, or not in the fight, but earlier I read in the aura that what you do as a child matters. It affects your adultness, so I was trying not to accidentally gain any good karma points from my adult form, and just trying to be a dickhead as a child, and it was mostly working. So that's why I'm mean to everybody in the thing, and then at the very end, your mother tells you not to fight, just to leave, but it doesn't let you leave. You're not allowed, so I'm pretty sure you have to fight and get the guy low enough, that way he ends up grabbing you and chucking you off. You might be able to, like, actually beat the fight without losing. I don't know. I feel like this is not very, like, it's kind of Soulsian, but not really. Like, when you come up to the big thing, it says don't fight it. You're actually not allowed to fight it. It's a scripted loss. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to go on about your day and enjoy. But yeah, so that's what's gonna happen for the rest of this video. Just a little bit of tutorial. I go through. I look at some various upgrades. I don't remember if I pick anything or not. Apparently, I did. And then, yeah, a little tutorial back in the past, and then we cut this one off. And so, with that said, I'm going to stop talking for the rest of this one. I'm going to let it play out, go ahead and get it edited and uploaded. And I hope my little intermittent commentary with the fast forward videos is at least a decent way to handle this now that I've realized the audio is fucked up in all these. I'm gonna fix that in the future so that this is not an issue. I don't know why it's doing it. It's recording the audio coming from the mic that I used during the gameplay with the exact same setup. So I don't know what causes the difference. I have absolutely no idea. But regardless of that, we're gonna get it figured out. We're gonna get it fixed. That's Goop. He'll come in massive handy later. Remember the characters that you see in the past because they do play into the future a little bit. Actually, a lot of it, like massive chunks. It's kind of neat. They're very interesting. This psychopath just chucked me into the water here in a minute trying to teach me how to swim. But I mean, you know, it's what it is. Also, real quick before I go, I want to give a shout out. I forget the dude's name, but the narrator for this game did just a phenomenal job. His lines are incredible. His voice is incredible. His energy is incredible. I absolutely love it. I wish that it wasn't fast forwarded so that you could properly hear his voice and the ridiculousness of it, but I end up getting to a point where I don't have time to wait for him, so I start skipping through the dialogue some anyway. So if you do want to stop and read the stuff, you are just gonna have to pause the video, because for my own sanity, basically, in the recording, I end up skipping a lot of it. It's cool, I love it, but it's repetitive and I can read a lot faster than he's talking, so it's not conducive to good content for me. So with that said, I will let you guys go, and I will be back for the next video.
She's not unhappy with your progress, but you still have a lot. You should know, practice makes perfect. She says nobody is perfect. That's why you practice. She'll see you at the village square. She understands, but sometimes you need to do what you have to and not what you want to. Here's another familiar face with lights on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. It's your own future you're risking by not caring for the environment. You should look for things that are recyclable. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be left lying around on the ground. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. But that's his point, to take something useless, change it, and put it to good use again. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He says you don't really need a weapon when you're born one. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. Gizmo doesn't mind sharing. What's his is yours, and what's yours is his. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. She suggests you better hurry up then. You won't get far with that attitude. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. She says it's not only about this moment and where you are going. You have to find yourself first, then everything else will follow. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. She worries about you. Sometimes you get lost in your own world, where the only thing that matters is you. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared of anything, least of all you. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. He says you're right. Nobody can tell him what he can and can't do, and that includes you. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, she thinks you're absolutely right. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. She suggests that you forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them more. Is someone close to heart, doing what he does best? Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He knows growing up is hard, and things will continue to go wrong. He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll leave the quick part to you. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas fast. He's curious to see what you found. He's gathered so much over the years, and it's hard to remember everything. Nothing's wrong with his memory. It's just short. He can work wonders with pretty much anything, and asks if you know how to upcycle. He's learned you never know when something you found might come back. He says it's about time you learn how, and offers to teach you. Stop. The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He can see the rebel in you. You're like your Muma. You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He agrees that you need to keep some things to yourself. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make. Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Says being on time would be better. She says she is eager to get started. You don't have to... But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. You might not be ready to take on someone with Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. You should just keep working. Been working? You should go see him and find out what it is. You've disappeared. Reminds you that the best way to get someone to... Catchy. Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. Figuring that out is half the fun. A piece of scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent. It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see. You should think of it as watching over you when she can't. Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day. Says a good rest makes you ready. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Biokmutant from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming. Lupa Lupin is a problem. Whatever happens, you need to know she loves. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her. Exactly what she wants. Here it comes. The past coming to hold the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Luma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory.
As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.
Alright, I think we're going to cut this one here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, share, comment, follow, and subscribe. You can also check out Snowflake on Twitter for updates on when videos come out. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.